Okay. Who is the best player in the NBA right now? I guarantee you that my take is going to be something you totally disagree with. Listen. Okay, everyone's talking about the Joker. Everyone's saying Joker this, Joker that. We just came off the NBA Finals, so I get it, right? The Joker is one of the illest players I've ever seen. I love watching him. Let me stop lying. I think it's not sexy. I think it's actually a little clunky. you know, his lack of athletic ability is just not appealing to me as a NBA fan. But you cannot deny his greatness. You cannot deny his statistics. You know what I'm saying? The man puts up numbers, and that's sexy. But like just watching him is not my cup of tea. So people are always talking about their top 10 lists. We talked about the top 10 greatest of all time in our last episode. And now we're going to be talking about the top 10 current NBA players. So we're talking about current NBA players. Just like our last episode, if you are talking about top 10 lists, do not even start the conversation with me unless you have clearly laid out what your criteria is. Like, how are you doing it? Are you just doing it based on like, oh, these are my favorite players? I got a lot of flack about, the way I was going in on Larry Bird the last episode. I'm going to stay away from Larry Bird because this is current players, but we can talk about Joker. Again, NBA champion, won his first chip this year, two-time MVP, an amazing player. But I guarantee you are going to disagree with my pick for the best player, current player in the NBA right now. So if you want to, please in the comments, share with me your top 10 list of current NBA players. Now, this is the GOAT Listed podcast. If you don't know, we launched our Game Pick podcast network this season. So we have a bunch of different shows, including the Game Pick Fantasy Basketball podcast, the GOAT Listed podcast, as well as Social Media Locker Room. It's an exciting time. I just want to make sure that I share that with you guys. So if you have time, please like and subscribe, but also check out the other things that we're working on here on the channel. So let's get right into it. So number 10 on my list is someone that has been at the top of this list at one point or another in his career. This one is LeBron James, right now of the Los Angeles Lakers. Who knows? He might be in another, setting at some point before his career is done. But right now, LeBron James, to me, is the number 10 player. He snuck in just because I looked around the league and I was just like, man, how can I not put the king into the mix? And like I said earlier, if you're given a top 10 list, you want to give your criteria. I failed to mention mine. My criteria for this list of top 10 current NBA players goes as follows. Number 1, 2022, 2023 regular season statistics. Number 2, age and upside. Number 3, which is weighted a little lower than the other two, personal opinion. My personal opinion. So we're going with regular season stats, age and upside, and personal opinion. Now I know what you're thinking. Robin, why don't you include the playoff stats? Not everybody made the playoffs. And just because you didn't make the playoffs, you shouldn't be, in my opinion, out of the mix or the conversation of the best players in the league. You know what I'm saying? So you might, Michael Jordan, like, I know like early on in his career, the Bulls weren't killing it, right? So that's something that's worth noting, that although a player might not have made the playoffs, I think they should still be considered, with everyone else. So that's why we're looking at regular season statistics specifically. So number 10 is LeBron James. LeBron James is 38 years old at the time of recording this episode. So that area is, a lot lower because he's so old. There's not much upside there for LeBron. LeBron is what he is. He doesn't really get much worse. He doesn't get much better. He's just greatness. In terms of longevity, we haven't seen anything like this in the NBA. Another reason why, just in terms of my personal opinion, I wanted to include him in the list. In the 2022-2023 season, LeBron James averaged 28.9 points per game. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. Um, 8.3 total rebounds, 6.8 assists. He shot 50% from the field, 32% from three, really not the best, and 76.8% from the free throw line. So again, LeBron James, statistically sound year after year. He is my number 10 player on the GOAT listed top 10 current players in the NBA right now. Let's go right on to number 9. Number 9 is Ja Morant. Like Ja Morant, listen, man, I could do a whole episode on Ja Morant. I'm getting to the point where I'm a little frustrated with when people have great opportunities in front of them, can serve so many people, can help so many people, can influence millions and millions of folks across the world, and they squander away their blessings. This list ain't about that. This list is about people that I think are the top 10 current players in the NBA right now. And number 9 is Ja Morant. Ja Morant is 23 years old, tons of upside. Averaged 26.2 points per game last season, 5.9 rebounds, 8.1 assists, shot 46.6% from the field, 30%, 30.7% from the three-point line, not the best, and 74.8% from the free throw line. Now, I think the thing about Ja is that Ja needs to surround himself with better people, because with these kind of numbers at 23 years old, there's just so much potential, you know what I'm saying, for him. And I would just hate to see those blessings squandered, due to like listening to too much NBA Youngboy or whatever the situation is. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to number 8. Number 8 is Damian Lillard. 32 years old. Damian Lillard is a sniper. And I think that people look at him and they look at him like, hey, he didn't make the playoffs, or his team is sucking right now. Yo, he's a couple years removed from being in the Western Conference Finals, y'all. Like, Damian Lillard just needs a few pieces around him. I think he is one of the most elite scorers in the NBA right now. And as you can see from his stats, he also contributes in other areas. So last season, Dame averaged 32.2 points per game. Wow. 4.8 total rebounds, 7.3 assists.
Hey, listen, you a GOAT. Can't nobody say you're not a GOAT, and this is coming from the GOAT. So stop playing and go GOAT.
He shot 46.3% from the field, 37.1 from three-pointers. And then from the line, 91.4. So 37% from three, 91.4 from the free throw line. Listen, Damian Lillard is that guy. Like, Dame Dollars gets it cooking. I love that we got to put him on this list. Next up is Steph Curry, number 7, Steph Curry, 35 years old. He's not a spring chicken anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you want to be really, really mindful of. But he still put up some numbers this past season. 29.4 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, 6.3 assists, shot 49.3% from the field, 42.7% from three, and 91% from the line. Steph Curry is a certified sniper. Number 6, somebody that is in the news right now because there's a lot of activity around his team. At the time of watching this, you probably know that Kevin Durant is that guy. So number 6, KD. Like, some people say he could be in the conversation for the best player in the league. I'm not there. His age has a little bit to do with it. He's 34 years old, averaged 29.1 points in the 2022-2023 season, 6.7 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 56% from the field. Wow. He also shot 40% from three and 91.9 from the free throw line. Listen, undeniable. Kevin Durant is a great, but I don't think he's in that top 5 anymore. I think he's declining slowly, and It's something that happens over time. That's one common theme from all of the guys in the first segment of the list from 6 to 10, that they're all older guys with the exception of John Morant. So let's keep it pushing and see if we can go ahead and get you guys the top 5 current players, top 10 list for the current players. But before we do that, I'm super excited to talk about our favorite fantasy sports partner, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the best place to play fantasy sports, including best ball, daily drafts, and pick 'em. Start drafting in minutes for a shot at big cash and an enhanced game watching experience. Did I mention that Kevin Durant, number 6 on this list, and Mark Cuban invested in Underdog? Once I heard about those cosigns, I had to spread the news. Sign up today and use the code GAMEPICK, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. It's like getting free money. Don't miss out on your chance to double up from the jump. To sign up, just download the Underdog Fantasy app on Android or iOS. Now, we're going to jump into this top 5. And like I said earlier, I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree. I would say the large majority of people who watch this video are going to disagree with my top 5, and that's okay. One of the beauties of the online NBA community, content creators in the NBA community, is that we can voice our opinions freely, you know what I'm saying, and give you our takes on what we believe, is the facts, what believe what is real, you know what I'm saying? And this is no exception. My top 5 is going to be shocking. My top 5 is going to be upsetting to some of you. I'm going to just encourage you to put on your big boy pants, chill out, sit back, let me give my take, and then drop a comment and let me know why you disagree respectfully. That's all that I ask. Here we go. Let me get a sip of this drink before we start. Okay. So, number 5, at 25 years old, from the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum. Last year, Jason Tatum averaged 30.1 points per game, 8.8 rebounds per game, 4.6 assists, 46.6% from the field, 35% from three, and 85.4% from the free throw line. Statistically, Tatum is the bomb diggity. Age-wise and upside-wise, he also has a lot of potential. The issue I have with Jason Tatum is just that, he seems like sometimey, man. Like watching the playoffs, he would have big, explosive game 7 performances when it mattered the most, and then he'd flop in a game 1. You know what I'm saying? And I think those players who get to the next level, excuse me, those players who get to the next level are the players who can have consistency. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you like drop 25 a game every game than have an explosion for 50 and then go for 12, 11 when your team really needs you. So that's one of the reasons, in terms of my opinion, why Tatum is a little lower. Listen, his statistics don't lie, and also his upside is there because of his age. So number 5, nothing to be ashamed of, Jason Tatum. Number 4, this year's MVP from the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is 29 years old. He averaged 33.1 points per game, y'all. 10.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists, shot 54.8 from the field, 33% from three-point land, and 85.7 from the free throw line. I'm hoping that the changes with Nick Nurse coming into Philadelphia are going to have a positive impact on Joel. And I think that him and James Harden, they haven't really fulfilled the goals and aspirations that they had when they linked up. I don't know if James Harden is going to be there next year, but I think that in terms of this great, the best current players, Embiid could easily be in anywhere from 1 to 4. You know what I'm saying? I have him here just because it seems like he hasn't really taken that next step that we want him to see. And I don't want to talk playoffs. I'm just talking in terms of, you know, his his overall I guess the way people look at him, specifically the press, the way they look at him in comparison to some of the other guys on this list. Even though he's the MVP, maybe he doesn't get the respect that he deserves. He is 29, so he's one of the older guys on the top 5 section of this list, so that also played a part. And then just for my personal opinion, again, I think that he just doesn't get the respect that he deserves. People expect more from him, and I think because of that, he won't be the top guy in the league because at his age, I don't see as much upside. Next up, number 3 on the list, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He averaged 31.1 points per game last season, 11.8 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 55.3% from the field, 27.5 from three. But that's not why we mess with Giannis. And then a horrible 64.5 from the free throw line. Giannis is that guy. He is number 1 on a lot of people's lists. Me personally, I think some of the other guys that I'm going to talk about have kind of leaped past him in terms of what their trajectory will be, right? So we talked about the Joker. The Joker is obviously going to be in the top 2. One thing about him is that he seems like he can still grow and get more. Giannis is I believe he's the oldest guy in my top 5 here. And Giannis, like, although he's still pretty young, he's not going to get much better. Like, this is kind of what you're going to get from him. You're going to get a lot of rebounds. You're going to get a lot of scoring. You're going to get okay assists, and then you're going to get horrible 3-point and free throw percentages. You'll get good field goal percentage, but from the 3-point line as well as from the free throw line, you're not going to get big numbers from Giannis. So that's why I have him number 3. And let's go ahead and move along. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. So, probably your GOAT. A lot of people's GOAT. Doesn't look like a GOAT, but might walk up the court like a GOAT. Ladies and gentlemen, Nikola Jokic, number 2, the Joker. Nikola Jokic is 28 years old, on the older side. He averaged 24.5 points in the regular season, 11.8 rebounds, and 9.8 assists, which is insane. Almost average a triple-double in the regular season. Field goal percentage, 63.2%, out of this world. Undeniable. 3-point percentage, 38.3. Free throw line, 82.2. Pretty good. So like I said earlier, you're going to disagree with my take on this, and that's okay. And for me, the easy answer for who's the best guy in the league, who's the GOAT, who's the number 1 guy in the NBA for current players right now, the easy answer would be Jokic. It'll be easy, right? And I believe it's a little too easy. So for me, there's 2 ways that I look at basketball. I look at basketball from a statistical standpoint, like what were the numbers like, right? And then I look at the eye test. And what do I see? What I see in Jokic is a great player. It's undeniable. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I get all of that. But the guy that I'm about to talk about, I believe, has the potential to be one of, if not the best player in NBA history. Mark my words. Ladies and gentlemen, take a guess. Who do you think it is? Huh? I could give you 2 guesses, but you only need one. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 player for current players on this GOAT list is none other than, from the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is 24 years old, upside galore. He's only going to get better and better and better. Only Ja Morant was younger than him on this top 10 list at 23 years old, right? Last season, in the 2022-2023 season, get ready for this. He averaged 32.4 points per game. That's nothing to sneeze at, y'all. 8.6 rebounds today. I mean, this season, I'm hyped. 8.6 rebounds last season. 8 assists. Shot 49.6% from the field, 34.2 from three-point land, and 74.2 from the free throw line. So if you look at his stats and you look at Jokic's stats, Jokic has better stats, right? Especially in the rebounding and the assist department. In terms of scoring, he's averaging 24. Luka's averaging 32. It's real, right? But there's also the age factor. And we also talk about the eye test. When I saw Luka play his on television in his rookie year, it looked like I was watching that kid in the AAU tournament who's light years beyond everyone else. He's that good. Like Dallas needs a few more pieces for him to win, right? But if you watch the man play, I've never seen anything like it. The way his change of speed, the way he uses his body, he's big and strong. He's not the fastest guy, but the fact that he knows how to adjust, you know what I'm saying, and his footwork, Luka is amazing. I think when it's all said and done, Luka has the opportunity to be in the conversation with the Jordans, with the LeBron Jameses. It's just going to be time. And keep in mind, LeBron and Jordan, they didn't start winning championships until later on in their career. This guy is 24 years old, and he's averaging 32.4 points per game. So that's where I have him. Again, if you disagree, please let me know in the comments. I do have a few honorable mentions. I think Donovan Mitchell is a dog. I think Tyrese Halliburton, because of his age and also his upside, can be in that conversation. I think Kyrie is amazing. Zion, if he would stop messing around with IG girls, would probably be okay too. Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Trae Young, and even De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. I like those two, and I think that the league is in good hands with folks like that. So we're going to do this list again next year. If you want to see a current player list sooner than that, let me know in the comments. And don't forget, I respond to every single comment. So make sure you let us know. And also, if you like these NBA GOAT discussions, please subscribe to the channel and like wherever you're listening or watching. We'd really appreciate that. And let me know in the comments what your top 10 is. I'm really curious to know. You can drop your top 5 or your top 10 of your favorite or your top current players in the NBA. I'm Robin Marks. And until next time, you've been GOAT listed.